We were started in 1999, so we're 20 years old and are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. The very first event was when a developer from Western Shore somewhere had come to town and wanted to develop what were known as the Glenwood Farm and the Ratcliffe Farm properties, which adjoin each other out where Easton Village is now on St. Michael's Road, just beyond the bypass. The developer had visions and had actual plans for a 500-unit housing development, a commercial strip mall along Route 33, 75-slip commercial marina, a conference center, et cetera, et cetera. A number of the local residents who lived on the Ratcliffe property and nearby banded together to try to work with this developer to scale back on what his intentions were. And that was the very first coming together of the folks who actually instigated Talbot Preservation Alliance. After several years of effort and a change in developer, we got the project scaled back to what you see now, which is half as many houses, lots of open space, no commercial strip on 33, and there never will be a commercial strip on 33 there. And we got a 300-foot setback from the water for environmental purposes. At the same time, this developer was working towards its ends. Home Depot wanted to come to town and start a large commercial center where the Teddy Bear Fresh and Aqua Pools, where those light industrial properties are now behind the what used to be the Black & Decker building. And the newly formed TPA organized with some neighbors to push back against that. We did not want to see commercial development of the light industrial zone, wanted it preserved for the type of development you see there now. First, there was a court decision that we procured that determined that you couldn't put a commercial use in the light industrial zone. The then county council then rewrote our local zoning ordinance with a amendment that would let large-scale commercial so-called lumberyard development, i.e. Home Depot and Lowe's, into light industrial zoning. 3 members of the council passed that amendment to the zoning ordinance, and that was what became Bill 808, which is one of TPA's first major rallying points. We organized a referendum against that legislation, got 4,000 plus signatures, got it on the ballot in 2002, and it was soundly defeated, as were the 3 council members who wanted to change the zoning to allow that kind of development. And so as a result, you have the sort of development we have at that site now. The one going back 10 years now was the work that we did in opposing the efforts of Shore Health System to move our hospital up to Queen Anne's County. So we would have lost our hospital in the town of Easton and all the jobs, not to mention medical access. We created quite a bit of publicity about that. We put on a very well-attended public program at the Avalon Theater with speakers about how such a move would impact our county and our town of Easton in various ways. The county council, the new county council at that time, then made available the land just across from the airport, so that as an alternative site, because Shore Health System had at that point decided, well, we better not move out of Talbot County, but they had, I believe, an option on property right on Route 404, right below Chesapeake. We waged probably an 18-month or more campaign with lobbying. We procured over 10,000 signatures on a petition of local residents opposing the move out of Easton. And in the end, the hospital recognized the public sentiment was so great that they did not pursue that move and did take an option on, and I think now own the property across from the airport. More recently, we were engaged somewhat behind the scenes, not in the sense of trying to hide ourselves from the public eye, but instead trying to broaden public involvement in the rewrite of the Talbot County Comprehensive Plan. That occurred from 2016 through 2018, I guess. There was a new county council majority that had some different views about how development should be accommodated in the county. A lot of this was happening below the radar screen. There wasn't a lot of public attention about what was going on, but there were some drastic changes that they were proposing, drastic changes from what were in the comprehensive plan that had been previously passed in 2005, 2006. And so you were getting proposals from the then chairman or president of the county council, for example, wanted to eliminate the prohibition on strip malls on county roads that had been in the comprehensive plan for a long time, and was asked about it by then council member Dirk Bartlett about, why do you want to do this? And she said, we don't want to prohibit them in our county. What TPA did was to start to publicize what was going on. We have a long email list of people who have supported our efforts, and we started sending out what we call alerts, just a one-page bullet point type of document that went out to the community, just emphasizing what the county council had done or said they were going to do at the last meeting, and when the next meeting was coming up and what the subject would be. And all of a sudden, people started coming out, and the room was full. Whereas when the council president had said, let's eliminate the prohibition on strip malls, there were literally five people in the room. The next meeting, it was standing, we publicized that, and it was standing room only. You couldn't, it changed the council's attitude immediately when there was all that scrutiny going. The council then majority was somewhat recalcitrant about backing away from some of their ideas, but in the end, I think the plan came out in a way that is going to continue to protect the nature of the county that we have grown to love the way that it is. We're a political organization, unlike many charitable organizations. We are not a charitable organization, not-for-profit group. We elected not to seek that status precisely because we wanted to stay political and be able to lobby and be able to support candidates. But unfortunately, it's a widely held view. It has been pushed over time by the Chamber of Commerce, by the Midshore Board of Realtors, by the Farm Bureau, by all the interest groups who think that our efforts are trying to impede on their profit-making opportunities. Nothing could be further from the truth. We have done more to preserve open farmland for farming than any organization in Talbot County. The kind of things that we're working for, which is preservation of the character of this community, its historic small towns, its fragile environment, these are the things that make people want to come here, buy homes here, invest in businesses here, and live here. And there are those who see all those attributes of our county as profit-making opportunities to be exploited, and we push back against that. But in so doing, we have supported far more development efforts than we have opposed. And those that we have opposed, take the very first one we did. Glenwood Farms is not still an empty farm field out there. There's a lot of development going. There's 250 houses coming out there. It's just not 500 growth. Easton was, in the first decade of the 2000s, the fastest growing town in the entire state. So those who say that TPA stopped all growth, there's no support for that. But we have moderated it, I think, in a way that's been beneficial to everyone, including the organizations who continue to say that we stand for no growth, which is not so. But we are proud of what we've done, and we do try to stay pretty much below the radar screen. And one of the things we've learned is that the most important way to get political traction with our governmental leaders is to get informed citizens out there, carrying the banner, not just the same group that they see all the time. Oh, it's just those TPA people again. Yeah. You know, they like seeing new faces and neighbors and people who are in the area that's affected coming out. And we've been able to do that with educational programs and support we've given behind the scenes.